Alright, back to Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. So episode
Jungle
6,
and
Jungle
Mine.
and Mine. Alright, let's continue. No, so it turns out the Doctor is fucking playing God and turning humans into dinosaurs.
Because
No.
Maybe he likes Pinocchio, but he thought donkeys were boring.
I will go more with the end of Dr. Bureau, mixed with Jurassic Park.
Well, as he's gonna say later, Shiroi, he wants to create a new world. So I guess he doesn't like people, so he thinks
Also-
dinosaurs are way cooler.
also-
so
Interesting way to reset the universe.
Jova,
Yes?
is Sauron from the X-Men. He's literally turning people into dinosaurs because...
Oh my god, he is.
No, literally because.
well, Shiro, I mentioned this to Lives during one of our X-Men. Basically, there's this X-Men villain who is a pterodon, a sentient one because it's a human who can turn into a pterodon called Sauron, and his whole shtick is that he's a genetist that loves to turn people into dinosaurs. So there's this particular mimetic panel of Spider-Man confronting him and saying, "Dude, you're a genetist and a good one at that. You know you could cure cancer instead of turning people into dinosaurs." And he's like, "But I don't want to cure cancer. I want to
Curing cancer is boring.
into dinosaurs." Wow.
Pretty much.
that's such a house line because
While
no,
curing cancer is boring.
No, cancer itself is boring to see. The house, one of the houses things. He likes. It's mostly because he likes teasing Wilson, Shiroi. But it's mostly
Oh,
because,
okay.
again, with cancer, like, okay, it's cancer. It's very straightforward. Doctors already know basically how it works. But remember, House is a doctor of diagnostic medicine. He's all about diagnosing stuff. So
Yeah.
One of the weird and
How-
wonderful, unusual things.
Yeah, House likes to do a lot of things in that show. Tease Wilson, mess around with patients when he's in his clinic duty, crash his car into people's houses. Oh wait.
Play the
What?
piano while high.
I believe he also likes to play Game Boy Advance every now and
Shiroi,
then,
I'm
too.
pretty sure he does everything while high. Remember, he's always
Sure.
taking
And the DS.
Oh yeah, true, and the DS.
He
I
actually
wonder,
play-
I wonder if
Yeah,
he
had the
plays
PSP at
Trauma
one point, but
Center.
he also-
I wonder
he had
if
the
he,
PSP at
Yeah.
one point, but then the DS, yeah.
I wonder if he plays
Unfortunately-
Trauma Center on that
Doesn't
DS.
he references RQ at one point?
Unfortunately, even though House ended in 2012, they didn't have the 3DS.
Oh well.
There's
Again,
also
I
one episode
wonder-
in the earlier ones, I think it's season 1, where he's playing the Game Boy Advance SP.
Again, I wonder, does he ever play Trauma Center?
No, he plays the Metroid.
Shame. I mean, well, actually, no, doing a one-off survival kind of go against the finale, but
Mind the
Oh.
They did-
dinosaur feet.
you know, actually, that'd be
It's a
pretty
Brachiosaurus,
cool. Yeah.
Jova.
How? Yeah,
We should
Hugh Laurie
win
character-
things about the Brachiosaurus. It's in the Jurassic Park rule.
That'd be
Also-
hilarious, actually. Hugh Laurie, a character as House, plays Trauma Center.
Also, Pedro, I don't know, those claws look a little sharp for it to be a Brachiosaurus. Normally a Brachiosaurus has more stubbed toes.
Also, there were only two. Oh god, that.
Oh,
Also,
I
dudes,
think
it's
that's an
like,
iguanodon.
I seriously doubt, Jova, that this game is worried about
How
anatomic
realistically
detail.
look, yeah. How realistically
No, not
look
at all.
the dinosaurs were.
Yes, Siri? Yes, Siri?
I was gonna say it was like that one lawyer who played the first case of Ace Attorney and literally had no idea what to say about it by the end.
Well, I mean, the game never mentioned at any point that it was meant to be a realistic portrayal of law.
Yeah.
It's a...
At least not Western law, anyway.
Precisely.
Hopefully.
Maybe not even Japanese law.
Actually, it kind of was.
Remember, that
From-
was
when
the
it-
entire point. Maybe a bit more inflated, but to criticize the Japanese law system.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, mind you, recent games have kind of gone against that because the Japanese legal system now has juries, whereas these recent Ace Attorney games don't do that still.
They're very precise, kind of. Well, technically
Oh,
they...
dude.
Alright, Jova. Alright, Jova, well, you're almost up.
Okay.
Actually, it's me, actually. Yeah, it's me. In this case, it's
Go!
You can go any further. I will show you the incredible
Uh,
power of the Doctor. There you go.
Jesus
Symbiote.
Christ.
There you go. A living form that takes over a human and turns him into that dinosaur thing. It's called Tyrog.
so
Honestly,
it's a
that's some
symbiote.
Metroid Space Pirate size right there.
So basically, if I understood correctly, this comic is about people turning into dinosaurs, basically.
I guess.
I'm gonna have to
They've
give
never
this-
read it, so I don't know what
Gonna have
what
to-
exactly it's about.
Hang on a minute. One of the mooks is armed with a shotgun. He doesn't just shoot them and end the game there and there.
Dribs, this is a beat 'em up. As long as I
Not
have health
just
bar,
that,
I'm fine.
Not just that, Libs, it was shown in previous levels with that even if the opponent or our protagonist have a gun, that alone doesn't constitute as an insta-kill.
Dribs, you're expecting realism from fucking Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. Right? Are you really?
Well, who knows? Maybe years later down the road, this will be realistic.
And he has that, whatever it is, that comes
Alright,
from his chest.
let me read the synopsis of the actual comic line.
What?
In the storyline, Earth has been ravaged by pollution. Oh, sorry. My bad.
Oh, look at
God.
that. Someone else. Okay, now go
Jesus
ahead.
Christ. In the storyline, Earth has been ravaged by pollution and natural disasters of all sorts. To escape this, humanity built vast underground cities in which they lived for approximately 500 years. Hence why the year was to 2500 and something. Upon emerging, the humans found that the world has been reclaimed by previously extinct life forms, most spectacularly dinosaurs. In the new Cenozoic era, technology is extremely limited and those with mechanical skills command a great deal of respect and influence. The two main characters in the series are mechanic Jack Tenrec and scientist and love interest Hannah Dundee. Tenrec operates a garage in which he restores cars, particularly Cadillacs. Given that the post-apocalyptic world no longer possesses the ability to refine oil, Tenrec modifies his car to run on dinosaur guano, EU. These cars, of course, are frequently chased by rampaging dinosaurs in pop-style action-adventure stories. Other characters include various
Oh, I
criminals.
Oh, and another one. Damn.
Gee.
It's
Jesus.
little symbiote
God,
And now
God.
it's
technology.
spitting
And- and-
explosive blood.
At least it's good to know that no matter the size of person infected, the size of the resulting dinosaurs is the same. Just a palette swap.
Could be worse.
Other characters include various criminals, politicians, scientists, and inventors who populated the dystopian world of tomorrow. There is also a race of reptilian humanoids called the Griff, who cannot speak in a human language, but instead communicate by spelling words with Scrabble tiles. These creatures have befriended Tenrec and apparently have the ability to communicate telepathically with the dinosaurs. Adding to the mix is Hermes, an Allosaurus Jack raised, and who basically acts as the most threatening guard dog one could ask for. That's
Huh.
it.
Fascinating.
I guess this particular subplot of a scientist turning people into dinosaurs was specifically made for the game.
Probably.
There
You
go.
can't touch this.
Okay,
Spider-Man
so
versus
that was this level was called Jungle and Mine. I didn't see any mines, but whatever.
Maybe the
I
mine.
thought we were going to the mine after this.
So,
This guy looks familiar. I think it's a genius, Dr. Fessenden. This equipment looks like it could be used by the staff at the underground ruins.
episode 7, the ball. So there we go. Turns out the bad guy is Dr. Fessenden.
No way! Whoever that is.
I'm guessing the mystery of his identity is makes more sense in the comic. I don't know.
I suppose.
Who knows? Again, I might give this media a try after this.
It's a strange concept.
Well, I'm almost surprised this one wasn't more successful. It's almost like extreme.
Just because it has dinosaurs in it, really.
Oh, sure.
I mean,
dinosaurs were
I'm
big in
honestly
the
kind of
90s.
I'm not really understanding how the hell did this franchise not become like a big mega thing. I mean, it has guns, it has dinosaurs, it has guys punching each other. What exactly? It's like a big
Like,
combination
what is
of everything.
missing here?
It's like Dino Riders, it just didn't took off despite having all the cards to do that.
Seriously.
Maybe not enough boobs, I don't know.
Well, I mean, even
maybe-
there.
No, remember, sure, this was aimed at kids, and
well.
little boys think boobs are
True,
full
true.
of cooties. So.
What year
Yeah.
did this come out?
The video game?
Yeah.
Okay, the
The video game
comic
came 1993, I think.
it was at the peak of popularity then because the comic ran from 1987 to 1996.
Okay, if by boobs.
Maybe-
See, I thought this was geared towards teens, not so much children.
Maybe they were too busy playing Mortal Kombat or something.
In regards to boobs, oh, they got that too. Have you not seen the sprite work on the female love interest in this game?
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Also another thing to note is that while there wasn't a port from the arcade version of this game, there was a second game for the Sega CD, made by Rocket Science Games called Cadillacs and Dinosaurs: The Second Cataclysm.
Interesting. So there was a sequel to this game.
Apparently it's a rail shooter.
Are the characters the same?
Yeah, it's still, based on this particular comic, so...
So I'm guessing the comic
Alright,
is
so
what
let's get
came
into this
first.
vault, I guess.
Yeah. Apparently it didn't have even a consistent publisher. It ran between Marvel, Dark Horse, and Flask Publication.
Huh. Okay, I see we're going Mega Man X-esque with the music now.
It's weird considering, again, I checked the resume of both composer and they only worked on one Mega Man game and was, the arcade title.
That had nothing to do with X.
Nope.
And yet this sounds like the Mega Man X sound font.
Possibly, like, it gave inspiration, potentially.
Did this come out before Mega Man X?
By the time this game came out, the Mega Man X series was just starting to get into the swing of things. Yeah.
So I guess someone inspired the other.
Fascinating.
Although the X games were made for the Super Nintendo, not for arcades, which had very different hardware.
True, also that. Also, gotta love it when you're using the knife. Someone accidentally picked Hannah.
No, it was actually on
messed
purpose,
up.
for the
You
purpose of
to
the
showcase the other characters.
Oh, how did you swap in the characters out?
In classic arcade fashion, Joe, once you need to use a continue, you can select the character that you want to play as, kind of like Metal Slug, for example.
Huh.
Yeah.
Speaking
So
of
yeah,
this
now we have
artwork,
Mess, whatever. Yeah, his name is Mess, and Hannah. Hannah Dundee.
Mess is the one with the mysterious past. Let me check again the name.
I forgot if his last name is Oakley.
It's actually more long. Though, apparently it's a character that was made for the game because I don't see it in the main characters of the comic.
Perhaps that is why he has such a mysterious past. We haven't found up one yet.
Not having something automatically means it's mysterious. That
look
works
at
so
that.
well for stuff like Star Wars.
I love how Mess is running attack. I love how Mess is running attack. It's just him falling with his arms set up in a completely still way.
I can tell that Mess moveset and behavior is very inspired by Mike Hagar from Final Fight.
Definitely.
But anyway, his complete name is Mess Obrendovich, which I'm not sure if it's supposed to be Irish or East European.
Alright, and also this vault has a library for some reason.
Makes sense, they gotta have something to do when they get bored.
Again, post-apocalyptic future, so they kinda needed to store knowledge.
God damn it, knowledge is power in this world.
Actually, I think dinosaur. Honestly, Joe, I think so far the only message I'm getting is that dinosaur DNA is the best power in this world.
But you need knowledge to know how to splice it.
And probably a lab.
I guess.
Why does her battle cry sound echoed?
That's also a common thing for arcade games to have some sound effects or music, but particularly voice clips to sound echoey.
It's because we're underground in a vault, so my guess is they're thinking, oh, it's a cave, so it's gotta sound echoey.
Surprisingly immersive for a game in this day and age.
Hello?
When this was made.
Come here often? Oh, okay then.
That was a bit of a delay, wasn't it?
I guess whatever they were doing before was really, really good for them. I don't know.
Oh boy.
Sometimes someone needs a cigarette pause.
I guess.
Alright.
Hey,
Well, it's
lay
good
off,
that you allowed
Nash.
him to have that break.
Also good to know that in the 500 years in the future, tobacco is still manages to be prevalent.
Hello?
You fools that just try to stop the creator of a new world.
That face.
I can give you all new lives, just as I have done to your old friend, who will never be named in this game. Go ahead, Slicesaurus! So there you go. Now we get to fight other creations of him, and while he stands there laughing like a madman.
Slicers!
boy, they
Why
got-
did they have to be slicers?
To help your idiots.
He's a scientist, but he's not exactly physically fit.
Yeah,
No,
he's just only
I don't
staring
think-
maniacally at the monitor.
I don't think that.
They're
I mean,
gonna
just-
pay for this.
I mean, just press buttons or something.
Maybe he is in the background. Who knows?
I'm guessing Hanadunde is Australian, given the name.
Most
Even-
likely.
In general, Jova, the character naming and behavior gives the strong Mad Max vibe, so it makes sense where at least a couple of them sounds Australian.
Yeah, she even
So,
sounds
yeah, the
Australian
song-
in her
yeah,
voice
it's-
clips too.
So he seems to take 3 guys who were pallet swabs of the guy who took over Jack's garage and turned them into dinosaurs.
Okay, Jova, my bad. Apparently, Anna is from what remains of Washington, D.C.
Ah,
While Jack, the main protagonist, is from the city in the sea, which was formerly Manhattan. Which is why the sprite in the background included stuff like the Twin Towers.
huh, how about that? They're fond of their super speed, I see.
Again,
A lot
and,
of
the Godzilla sound, the roar sound effect. Isn't that
It
shit copyrighted?
It was a thing that boss did, like that's a Streets of Rage boss that does something similar to this. Damn. Alright.
Dive kick them!
That's the thing where Mets can only dive punch them, not dive kick them.
Well, Hannah seems to have a better idea.
How is dive punching better than dive kicking?
I don't know, that's whoever designed the game.
Okay then.
The feast is better than the foot? I don't know.
And there we go.
It's weird. Cadillacs and Dinosaurs.
Think we got it.
Okay, so it's from Capcom.
Yes.
Alright, now the last level.
The basement.
You so far only witness a taste of my power. If you dare, come and behold true genius.
If it doesn't give a seizure.
Episode 8, The Underworld.
Oh, hey, Blanca.
Remember, it's not Blanca Jova.
So there you go.
It's called Blodge.
So there, as you can see in the background, yeah, the doctor has been busy.
With the classic tubes.
Again, like I said too, what's the fun of being a mad scientist if you don't get to play God?
Of course. Again, just another proof in the constant theory that scientists are evil.
Along with ancient Egypt.
Yes.
God damn it, Bludge.
At least it's not shocking you with electricity. Of course, then
No,
Blanca
this
probably
one
would
has
have.
a tail.
Of course, then Blanca probably would have had to come in with a lawsuit on that one.
Alright. Time to finally stop the doctor's plans once and for all.
Also, Jova, at least it's not like in the Street Fighter movie where they combine the two characters into Blanca. You know, Blanca himself and I keep forgetting Cody, guy's best friend. No, not Cody.
Nash.
Nash, yeah.
Like I said, we've also got Nash lookalikes in this game too.
And look at that, his name. This one is called Tyrog 2.
2.0, I guess.
I guess they ran out of ideas for names. There you go. We'll call this reuse of the boss. Tyrog 2, that works. Okay.
Sure, why not?
Tarek 2, right?
Doesn't happen that a couple times these arcade cabinets were translated in English directly from the Japanese developer team. So a couple of times they had typos, mistranslations, and of all kinds.
Dare I ask why there's a countdown?
Again,
Pedro explained the previous part.
Uh,
All arcade beat 'em ups usually had one. I was more interested in the fact that in this case it wasn't always present on screen, but only occasionally popped up.
Yeah, it was a common thing, Joe, but they don't want people playing in the arcade cabinet to just hang about and not do
Jesus
anything,
Christ.
sitting in the same place because, well, there's other people behind you that might want to play. So remember, this game was made for a very different sort of circumstance.
Well, no duh. But it sucked to be one of the kids who had to wait behind the kid who had all the quarters in the world.
I don't know how much experience do you have with Cabinet Arcade, but it wasn't a pleasant, world.
Oh,
Very
trust me.
ruthless.
Trust me, I was there during the arcade cabinet craze of the 90s.
Probably under its, dusk years.
Still, though, I've had plenty of arcade action. Heck, you still see a lot of arcade cabinets in certain establishments.
Well, during the early 2000s, the SNK versus Capcom series on the arcades was still going, and they were still even using sprites even.
Arcade cabinets didn't really start drying up until, I'd say, like, the 2010s, actually, ironically enough. Sure, they were sort of reaching their dusk in, like, the mid to late 2000s, but I'd say that they still had a presence. Nowadays, though, you can catch them mainly at places like Chuck E. Cheese's or Dave & Buster's, and even still, they're a lot more newer and flashier, as opposed to, the old classic types.
What are you talking about?
Arcade cabinets.
The
Basically,
weirdest
Oh,
game that I could find was one that I saw last year that was about Virtua Fighter 5. I didn't even know it at arcade release.
We don't really have restaurants with those anymore.
Yeah, it's one of those it's one of those cases where you're trying to play a game like this at home, because these games were not made to be played at a home. They were made for very specific circumstances. So of course, when you're trying to play these at home, like I am, obviously you have to keep that in mind, considering some aspects. Like, for example,
nothing wrong with that.
The fact that the move set of the characters is very limited. Just one for punching, one for jumping, and you can mix them both for a super attack, and that's pretty much it. Like for an arcade game that you just play with a few coins here and there in an arcade room or in the coffee or shop or something, that works perfectly fine. But when you're playing at home, obviously there's different expectations.
This is also why for fighting games, eventually after Street Fighter 2, the arcade input.
The diving punch that I did earlier.
The arcade input was using combinations of those, which essentially are 3 types of buttons, high, medium, and low, and the movement of the joystick.
I love how only the first iteration of this boss is called Feisty. All the other ones are just called Walter.
Makes sense, Feisty, he was special.
I guess.
But Walter, that's...
He didn't look any more special to me, to be honest.
He was a different color.
That changes everything.
Yes, it does.
In this world, it does.
I guess.
So how do you choose which character you respawn as?
It just allows you to shoot. It just allows you
Yeah, it gives you usually it gives you like small icons, normally where your health bar should be, and you can scroll using the in case of an arcade. Actually, you have a full choice.
Okay. So you scroll. That makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm playing this game on MAME, so by all means get MAME on your computer and you can play it as well.
Of course.
All right.
Oh boy, I think that's boss music I hear.
Super Serial.
Yes. Here we go.
That's a nuke.
I've been expecting you. You are just in time to start your new life. Shall we begin? And there you go. You also turn it into...
oh no, I'm so scared. You're a recolor of that boss from before.
Oh no.
We're worshipping a nuke.
So it looks like the Doctor has also injected himself with whatever the hell he came
The
up with.
TV trope for this is, God, what's it? Dr. Guinea Pig is the TV trope for this. And the scientist just figures, using themselves as a test subject is the perfect way to go about doing this.
And there we go.
I guess it shows they're committed to it? I don't know.
I mean, it's we already seen an episode. Sorry, not episode. We never really seen a case of Beast with Hodro at the end of these 2 of Final Fantasy 7.
Yep.
Alright, almost done. Wow, this was surprisingly easy for a final boss.
Like I said, I am so scared.
Absolutely, there's nothing more.
There we go. perfect fools now witness the true power of my serum as it takes effect.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You mentioned
I've
Mojo.
finally done it! All the strength of the mighty dinosaur and my extreme intelligence combined in one body. The world is mine to control!
Yeah,
Sure, the world won't die laughing at looking at that.
So there you go. His entire plan was to have both in the same body, his brain and the physical strength of a two-headed dinosaur. And that's
Interesting way to do the two heads thing, though. Like one's in the chest.
well, remember, actually, technically it's three heads here. You'll notice that the yellow part in the chest, that's him. That's the Doctor himself turned into whatever. And there's the two T-Rex like heads in the dinosaur himself.
He looks like a xenomorph, though. He's sticking out like that.
So his plan boils down to this. Now that I have both a dinosaur and with all the might and strength, plus my super duper brain, I get to control the world now. That's his basic plan.
Okay, then, hail King Pedro.
Here's the thing, though. Okay, you went for all this job to turn into that thing, but just two people are able to still kill you, as I'm about to do.
By punching you in the face,
It's
nonetheless.
it's like with Resident Evil. The bosses go on and on about how
There you
they've achieved a new form, but quite honestly, that form can still be defeated with a good dose of lead from
Alright.
guns.
I'm just
too cool.
Sure you are, Mess. Sure.
And
Alright.
mysterious. Oh,
And shit.
Oh,
Oh, I'm not finished. Mutating is such a rush.
What?
Wait, not finished.
Oh.
Mutating is such a rush. What the hell does that mean?
usually
Wait,
saying
wait.
something is such a rush means it's quite a high, but
His
lab
gun
is
will
gonna
explode.
explode!
Gun will
Run!
explode.
Of course, killing the bad guy causes his fortress to explode for some reason.
Not just
Hurry
that,
up!
they couldn't phrase it to have an A. Oh no, no,
Hannah!
that's...
Is his life force? Is this like a part
Jesus.
linked,
Jack!
linked to the
Hannah!
security system?
No! And so Jack and Anna died. Oh well.
Uh, don't worry, I'm sure the sequel will help explain everything.
We're just gonna run into the sunset with our Cadillac, most likely.
Wouldn't that be
I
something?
I love the way they escaped though, like with a mega ultra jump.
Yeah, they didn't exit.
Well, that was Cadillacs and Dinosaurs.
Our
Well,
major
there's
protagonist may be dead.
We have a mid-credit scene because yeah, clearly Jack and Anna are dead. Clearly.
Absolutely, but it's not like we're the protagonists.
By the way, where's our car? Or a
Dude, where's
Cadillac?
my car?
Yeah, what's our Cadillac?
It blew up. Well,
Alright.
it probably blew up in that
Even the way the ends, it's kind of like Mega Man 2, where they just walk away while the base explodes.
Jack, Hannah, you are alright. Yeah, we barely made it. President was a madman. His insane plans almost became a reality. He tried to mess with the balance. Nature always balances itself. Let's go home.
Wait,
Hey,
you're not gonna get in the car at all?
No,
You
we're
just-
just
No,
gonna leave
we'll
it
race
to
ya.
run.
So yeah, I guess what we're supposed to get from this is that no matter how much humanity tries to fuck with the balance of nature, nature always balances itself.
Away.
Basically, yeah. So yeah, that was
playing.
thanks. But okay, so yeah, that was basically that was Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. Dibs, what do you think?
It looks like an arcade video game.
It looks like an arcade video game.
That's because it is.
I mean, I will say it looks all right. I'm just not into side scrollers,
Sure.
but that's just me. It looks all right.
All right, sure.
It looks fun enough, but like we've said, it's an arcade game. It's a beat 'em up arcade game. They're kind of, you've played one, you played most.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
I do. It's mostly one of those things where it depends on what kind of our licensed property or whatever.
Yeah,
kind
well,
of
I said
creativity.
most, though. I know some franchises try to be different, but
Like for example, Michael Jackson's Moonwalker has the isometric perspective that makes it unique. Aside from that is Michael Jackson.
and it's a
This one-
strange premise also.
Yeah, and this one also has its wacky concept with the Doctor being completely nutso. So there's that. Also,
Yeah, it has the same novelty factor.
so there's that. Okay. Theo, what do you think?
It looks really on par with the usual Capcom arcade tradition, which I'm already a fan of in itself. So the premise makes it freshen up, even though it is a licensed product, which Capcom wasn't too estranged of. Remember, around the same time, they did a fighting game based on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure Part 3. So they kind of already knew what to do with this, and looks fine enough as a variation of usual beat 'em up. Although it is to be noted that a couple of them that were developed, unless it were something really different like Battle Circuit, they tended to be, as Shiri also put, sort of samey, like Captain Commando and Final Fight, for example. But honestly, this one still looks really fun to play. Interesting that despite having 4 playable characters to choose, the maximum amount is 3. I'm guessing the cabinet had limitations on so like that.
There were very few arcade games that actually allowed you to play with 4 players. Usually, they would have to make a wide cabinet in order to accommodate for 4 players.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, each of these cabinets had to be mass produced and distributed
Yeah.
physically throughout the world. So of course, it wasn't
think
exactly
one of
the
the-
cheapest thing.
I think one of the Dungeons and Dragons game had one of those, the one that Capcom made, but whatever. But still, nice enough. Not really super convinced into looking into the source material as it is, because I haven't touched the comic or watched the TV series. But who knows? We'll see. Next.
Jova.
Yep, it's definitely an arcade fighter, but it actually looks like quite a unique arcade fighter here. It runs with an interesting idea combining stuff like the apocalypse with genetic mutation. Throw in a bit of a spiffy young cast, and you've got this one here and there. It's an interesting take, all things considered. One that I definitely wouldn't mind seeing more of. I'll definitely be checking out the franchise here and there. It does its job well.
All right.
That
As
leaves
for
you,
me, yeah.
Pedro.
Yeah, as for me, it's just it's fine. Again, there's the novelty of the whole wacky premise that it has, and it does roll with it. And again, like Theo said, it has that old school Capcom arcade tradition that makes it just fun. Yeah, it's derivative, but it's solid, and it's like it's a very formulaic game, but it still executes it so well that it reminds you why you like the formula to begin with. So yeah, it's just one of those cases where if you have an hour to spare, especially if you have a friend to play with, by all means, this is a great way to spend an hour. So
Will the sequel be just as good? We will have to wait and see.
All right, everybody, see you for whatever.
I guess that Sega CD game. See ya.
See ya.
Ta-ta.
See ya.